Alright, so you've downloaded the Unity Hub, you've installed Unity, and now you're ready to get going, but you have no idea where to start. That's what I'm for. So after you've gotten one of the Unity installs, whatever version you have, doesn't matter, you can go up here into projects, a lot of tutorial projects, some actual game projects, and some experimentation projects. We can make a new project, and here we have a bunch of different templates. So if you want a first-person game or a third-person game, there are templates to work off of. Realistically speaking, if you're making a quick fun game and it's your first game, probably good to work off of one of these. We're going to, for this series, go with a clean, empty project, just because it'll allow me to show you all the functionality of the engine a little bit better. So with that, we have the option to go 2D, 3D, and then there's another 2D and 3D. What is that all about? That's got to do with the different render pipelines that Unity provides. For this tutorial series, we're going to make a 2D URP project. So we'll select that, and then we'll call this project Learning Unity. You can give it a file location and then create your project. And once your project opens up, you will see this. We're going to go over the main bits of this UI before we get into what Unity is and how it works and what game objects are, how to make scripts and how to program and all that kind of stuff. We're going to take this one step at a time. So the first thing you might see here is your scene view. This is where you're going to be building your level. So anything that you put into your game, you're going to put in here, and you're going to be able to see it here. Then in the same window, there's a little tab here that shows you the game view. This just shows you the view from your main camera, which is the rectangle that we can see here, with the little camera icon here in the middle. So if we click on that, we can also see the main camera view in the bottom right corner here. That'll also show you two things at the same time. Number one, a lot of information here in the inspector. We're going to skip over that for right now. We'll get back into that in a minute. You'll also see that here in the hierarchy, suddenly this object is highlighted called main camera. So if we click off it again, you'll see the main camera is no longer highlighted. It also works the other way around. So if we here in the hierarchy click on the main camera, we can see in our scene view that then selects the main camera. So these two things are linked together. This scene view is the visual representation of everything in your level, in your scene, as it's called. The hierarchy is just a list that shows you all of the objects in your scene. Then, coming back to the right side of the screen here, the inspector. This is one of the most important windows in Unity, because what you're seeing here in your hierarchy, these are different game objects. And game objects are the foundation of how to make games. These are the things that exist in your game world. Those game objects can be a lot of different things. A game object can be a light, it can be a camera, it can be the player character, it can be an enemy, it can be a boss fight, it can be a non-visible thing like a manager for managing information flow between objects. Everything in your game is a game object, and different game objects are built out of all these different things here called components. So this main camera component has a transform component. Every game object will come with a transform component. It needs a physical location in your world in order to be a game object. Then beyond that, this one also has a camera component and a audio listener component, and then the universal additional camera data component, which is a script. And we can open and close these components when we need to work with them, and we can add our own components to this as well. So we've got the add component button, and there you can see there is a bunch of different submenus. And let's say we want to add a physics object to this camera so that the camera follows the laws of physics. Something you probably don't want to actually do, because that means that the camera will be affected by gravity and it'll always fall to the ground. But you can click on this little arrow here, and here we get all of the different physics related stuff, which includes colliders. So if you want for some reason to have a camera that can't pass through a wall, this could be a way of doing that. It's not the best way of doing it, but you can give your camera a collider. Or a rigid body, which is a very important type of of component that you will be able to use a lot in the future, because rigid bodies tell the engine that, hey, this game object that has this component in it is going to use physics. So it's going to be influenced by gravity. It can be pushed around by other things that have colliders, and so on and so forth. So that's the main breakdown here. We've got our scene view that's filled with game objects, and those game objects are built up out of components. Then you've got your project down here, and this is just a folder structure that will show you all of your assets. So the root folder here is called assets, and by default it comes with this scenes folder as well, which holds a sample scene and then some setting objects, which we're going to ignore for now. And if we just right click in here, we can create, and we can create a bunch of different type of things. So just to show a little bit of how Unity works, we're going to make a game object now with a sprite, and we're going to add another component to it. So what we'll do is we'll go in this create menu into 2D, a sprite, and we'll make a square. That's just a default sprite that Unity comes with. It's just simply a white square, very small, but it works fine. We can just drag this into our scene view, and as you can see, we suddenly see the square in our scene. We also see that it added the square to the hierarchy, because as we've discussed, these two things are linked. This is simply a list of the things that are in here. And since it's a game object, it's always going to have a transform component. And we dragged in an image, so Unity is smart enough to understand, oh, wait a second, this is a sprite. It's a 2D sprite, so I should add a sprite renderer component on my own with all of the required fields already filled in. So it knows that we dragged in the square sprite, so it's going to be rendering this square sprite. We can very much change this if we want. If we want to change this now to instead use, I don't really have a lot of sprites here, but the OK, it's changing the sprite. So you're not limited to the sprite you initially import. But no, I wanted to actually have the square sprite, but I can't find it in this whole list anymore because this list is very messy and very, very long. And maybe if I just search up in it, okay, we can find the square again. But there's actually a much easier way, and that's as long as we have this square game object selected, we'll have the inspector open, and we can just drag in compatible assets from our project files into the fields that support them. And suddenly we're back to having our square in our sprite render. There's some options here as well. Changing the color. This will just tint the existing sprite into a different color. So if you have got a black and white sprite, it will add color into it. If your sprite already has color, it will get tinted with whatever color you're adding to it here. We can flip sprites in the X and the Y. There's a couple of different draw modes that we're going to skip over for now because that's not really relevant and a bit too complex, and the same really goes for most of what's going on here. It's not relevant for what you're learning right now. Now, we've added something into our scene view, and actually let's make this color green instead, because otherwise it's not going to stand out against the background color of the game. Now, we've got a object in our scene view. It's within the camera's bounds because this is what the camera is seeing. As you can see, we can see the little green player thing that we've put in right here. If we want to play our game, we can come up here and press the play button. That will run the game and automatically switches over to the game tab. And now our game is running. Nothing's happening because we have no functionality on any of these things, but this is the game running. We can stop the game from running by pressing this button again, or we can actually pause the game, which will take us back to the scene view, where we can inspect some of these objects and maybe see what's going on with certain values, or for debugging purposes, this can be very, very useful. For now, let's end the game and add a component because we want to see something happen when we run the game. So what we can do is we can add a rigid body 2D. A lot of different components have a normal version and a 2D version. Since we're making a 2D game with 2D sprites, we're going to be using the 2D versions of these. If you're doing something in 3D, which I recommend if you're just getting started, stick with 2D for experimenting and learning the engine a little bit, and then move on to 3D. But if you're doing 3D, you use rigid body. Since we're using a 2D thing, we're going to go rigid body 2D. We can add that, and that gives us a bunch of different settings again, which once again, we're not going to go into detail about every little setting here because that's going to give you information overload, and it's not really necessary to understand all this right now. All that we need to know here is that we've got a gravity scale which let's set that to 0 for the time being. If we run the game again, nothing will happen because our gravity scale is set to 0. But this is where things get interesting, because on runtime, while the game is running, we can change this value and the game will respond to it. So if we set this gravity scale to 1, we'll see that the block is going to start falling. And there we go. What's more, you can see now that we've stopped playing the game, our gravity scale is set back to 0. So any changes you make during runtime, during gameplay, will not actually carry over into your project as it is. So that gives you the opportunity to experiment a lot with different settings and different values in a lot of different things. And if you do like what you have made, so let's run the game again, you can set this to 1 and you're like, okay, yeah, that is a good amount of gravity. You can actually right click on a component and you can copy the component. Then when you're back in your scene view, you can right click that same component again and we can actually paste component values. So this way we can take what we've made during runtime, copy it over and paste it onto our components in the scene view. And there is a bunch more windows that we could go through. The last one I want to mention for today is going to be our console window. This is where you will see any errors popping up. So if you are making your own scripts, which we'll get into very soon, and something isn't working right, maybe a calculation is going wrong, or maybe a variable isn't being set properly, or something doesn't have a value, well it should. That's all going to be logged here for you to figure out what's wrong, where the mistake is happening, and for you to go fix it. Up here in window, we have a bunch more things like our general windows, our rendering related windows, animation, audio, sequencing, analysis, our 2D stuff, our AI stuff, our UI toolkit. There is a lot. Way more than you should be getting into at this point. For now though, we're going to leave it at this. Next time, we're going to get into a little bit of basics for programming. Don't worry, it sounds intimidating maybe. We're going to go through at a very basic level and explain everything about how programming works, and we're going to make a little bit of a functional script. Nothing that's going to be the next big game quite yet, but we're going to make a little thing that will show you the basic functions of how programs work. And thanks to my patrons, you can see them on screen right now, and a special thank you to my Cave Digger tier Patreon, Syntax.